Warning, this is not a Fallout review. Rather, it explores humanity's destructive psychological undercurrents for cataclysmic collapse. Society go boom boom. You have been warned.
Back in October of 2008, my buddy would not shut up about Fallout 3. Oblivion with guns, he called it. Initially, I didn't like it. The combat was boring. Everyone had a stupid potato face.
We were surprised you didn't.
Yeah, I quit. And then a week later, I played it again. And then I started to like it. And then I started to really like it. Then I started to love it. And then I fucked it. Fallout 3 did not leave my Xbox for 2 years, and only then it was to play Fallout New Vegas at midnight the day that game was released. I fucked that game too. This obsession led down a rabbit hole of media related to Fallout: Mad Max, A Boy and His Dog, The Road, Dr. Strangelove. Years later, I even created my own apocalyptic comic book. The Wasteland became my muse. I wanted more. I needed more. Then, in 2012...
According to an ancient Mayan prophecy, the world will end.
Doomsday prediction based on the Mayan calendar.
Doomsday? Counting down to the end of the world.
Will the world end?
For the end of the world.
The end is coming.
Mayan prophecy predicts the end of days on December the 21st.
This year, December 21st, 2012.
Armageddon for all.
And if I'm being completely honest, I kind of wanted it to. Spoilers, the world didn't end. Although sometime between the Large Hadron Collider, tits out for Harambe, and a reality TV star becoming president, we might have entered an alternate universe. But that beautiful wasteland we were all promised still continues to elude us. The angsty child that once wished for society to collapse has grown up. Although in the years to follow, I've noticed an uptick in those that share that dangerous sentiment.
The United States of America is irredeemable and is guilty of war crimes.
Slavery, genocide, and war.
Slavery, genocide, and war.
All right, this is getting serious. Oh my God. America was never great.
America was never great.
America was never great.
America was never great.
America was never great. Genocide and war.
Slavery, genocide, and war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
America was never great.
America was never great.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
It is certainly tense.
Where does this longing for societal collapse come from? Should we be alarmed? Who's in favor of it? And is it ever justified? Firstly, it's important to distinguish the different kinds of societal collapse and the desired end results. For the sake of simplification, let's break it down into two categories: utopian collapse and dystopian collapse. Those in favor of a utopian collapse are dissatisfied with their current system and believe that only by tearing it down can a better society be built in its place. Whether the system they advocate for is better or worse, and the likelihood of that system being implemented correctly, is a different topic entirely. They typically advocate for what is known as a soft collapse, a gradual erosion of our current system that allows for an orderly transition. A hard collapse, or a sudden transition from the world we have now, would lead to too much instability and could potentially jeopardize the system they wish to introduce. While those in favor of a dystopian collapse don't seem to want a system at all. They crave pure, unrestrained anarchy. They want a hard collapse into a real apocalypse. They want to live in Tyler Durden's wet dream.
In the world I see,
You're stalking out through the damn canyon forest around the ruins of Rockefeller Center. You'll wear leather clothes that will last you the rest of your life. You'll climb the wrist-thick kudzu vines that wrap the Sears Tower. And when you look down, you'll see tiny figures pounding corn, laying strips of venison in the empty carpool bay of some abandoned superhighway.
The desire for collapse often stems from an inability to accept the world as it is, a rejection of the current order in pursuit of an idealized alternative.
Hi, I'd like some breakfast. We stopped serving breakfast.
So what factors might drive someone to want to say f*** it and flip the Monopoly board? And can we determine which collapse they would be in favor of? Two things stand out: status and sex. Those who are high status and embedded in our current system are far less likely to want any collapse at all. Or at most, they want a utopian soft collapse that preserves or improves their position in society. In the most extreme example, think of billionaires and politicians that may see opportunities to consolidate their power by reshaping the rules of the game and removing potential competition.
Because it would be absolutely vital that our top government and military men be included.
That said, their version of a utopia could be dystopian for the rest of us. However, those at the lower end of the social hierarchy may view either collapse as preferable to the current system they are stuck in. This speaks to a deeper issue of alienation, lack of purpose, and perceived lack of opportunity that may be fueling some of these collapse fantasies. When people feel profoundly disempowered and disconnected from society, the prospect of a reset can become alluring, even if the consequences could be catastrophic. So where does sex come into this? Well, societies across the Western world provide certain safeguards and support structures that benefit women. From legal protections to education systems they are dominating to workplace initiatives and opportunities. A soft collapse may tempt some women with a fantasy of a utopian society, but a hard collapse that dismantles those systems would disproportionately harm women.
I thought I was here to be a sex slave.
I'm simply going to harvest your organs.
But they're not alone. The majority of men would also suffer if the metaphorical feces hit the air conditioner. Some, however, may find a hard reset alluring.
God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives.
If a hard collapse were to happen, anyone with survival skills like hunting, fishing, farming, self-defense, or anything else deemed valuable in a wasteland would be at the top of the dystopian hierarchy tomorrow. Bonus points if they have supplies and weapons handy. This fantasy of returning to the lifestyle of our ancestors could tempt young men that feel oppressed and marginalized in their current system. Research indicates that disenfranchised young males on a large enough scale can destabilize a society. The CIA can tell you about that. Will plummeting testosterone rates, sex robots, and AI girlfriends solve this problem? I fucking hope not. But not everything is about status and sex. That would oversimplify a more complex, multi-layered puzzle. Factors such as perceived racial, cultural, or religious marginalization could be the catalyst for some, while others might be driven by ideology. And some might just have personality traits oriented towards thrill-seeking, chaotic, or disruptive behavior. Society seems to be unraveling all around us. Across the Western world, the wealth gap is growing as living standards, mental health, economic, and social opportunities are all declining with each generation. In its wake, societal unrest has sprung up across the globe. Is it all organic? Are there puppet masters pulling the strings? I think we can all agree the system we have now is broken. Can it be fixed, or is it destined for collapse? In the face of tyranny, when all avenues of peaceful change are blocked and oppression becomes unbearable, revolution may emerge as the only recourse. But at what cost? What do we have to lose? The short answer?
Everything, you silly potato.
And in our modern society, in our hyper-connected world, the stakes are even higher. Our global population has ballooned to levels unfeasible without our current infrastructure to depend on. Regardless of the collapse, a soft reset could result in the deaths of millions, and a hard reset would lead to devastation and suffering on a level beyond comprehension. Is it worth the gamble? Why even now, all these years later, does the thought of burning it all down and starting fresh still entice a morbid delight? Is it just escapism from the modern mundane? Freedom from our oppressive 9-to-5 existence? Or perhaps it's just a desperate hope for change in an ever-increasingly cynical and hopeless world? I have no answers. I know nothing. This is for you to decide and make up your own mind. I only ask that you approach the topic with caution, gravely, with sorrow as if you were attending a funeral. Be wary of the immense human cost that would accommodate any societal collapse. Be clear-eyed about the realities and do not succumb to romanticized notions of apocalyptic freedom or revolutions orchestrated by those that wish to enslave you. Amor fati. So it goes. Whatever happens, happens. But what do you think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Perhaps you have something to teach me. Share your thoughts so we can all grow together. Check out the description for links to more information regarding this topic.